Hi, I'm Jon, and I'm a potter, and I'm here with my daughter Hannah. We're going to have a show together.
I'm Hanna Pettyjohn. I'm primarily a painter, but I like working with installations and some sculpture, and I've recently been working more and more with ceramics.
Tessy and I have been potters now for almost 50 years. And Hannah grew up with us here in the workshop, so she's been around ceramics for her whole life. I was so happy that she took up fine arts in UP, painting. And after she graduated, I made sure she came back here and worked with me for a couple months, which is kind of hard, working with your daughter. But I'm glad at least I got to influence her a little bit, although she does things now that I would never do. And I'm happy to see that. Over the years, I accumulate a lot of work that I'm not sure about. Generally, rejects we get rid of right away, but there are some things that we're never sure about, or maybe they have minor flaws. So they sort of accumulate in piles around the area. And Hannah took some interest in it and started sketching it, started turning up in her paintings.
Yeah, I started taking photographs. I have hundreds and hundreds of photos. I just really like the way his ceramics looked against the environment. He would just leave them out and the plants would grow all over them. It looked like they were being reabsorbed back into nature.
And then she suggested some time ago that it would be interesting if she painted those things on new forms. So that's how the idea for the exhibit started. This exhibit is about the things lying around my workshop or outside the workshop. I describe it as detritus. They're not really rejects, but they're things that are sort of in limbo, things I'm not sure about. They're also things that I like to look at. I curate them in a way. It's like my own personal sculpture pottery garden. So when I walk around on the property, I look at these things every day.
So I made a few paintings, and they're paintings of scenes from around the workshop. And to me, I wanted them to be a background to the pieces. It's about the place, this environment, the space in his workshop. This place has a lot of functions. It's his workshop, and it's also a home, and it's like the place where I grew up.
The workshop environment is very important, Generally, a studio workshop is often a very big mess, like mine is. After almost 50 years, it's quite an old workshop. But it becomes a very personal thing, your environment. And it's not really a haphazard thing, although it looks like that. It's a collection of your tools and your works in various stages, from the preparation of the materials to the finished works. Pottery has such long traditions, and the thing about craftsmanship is very important. So potters like me have a lot of ideas about how to handle materials, because the expression is really in the process now. This is the thing. Not so much the finished work, but in the way you do the work. So potters can seem a bit rigid in that, but the reason is because we have such great respect for the materials and the processes and the things we learned from the potters who came before us. It's tricky working with your daughter, The first time we worked together, I had a hard time. That's why working in the same workshop, it's hard to share tools, and I'm very particular about my tools and where they get placed and how they're handled. So there was a bit of friction there. So now we sort of separated our workspaces, so that works out just fine.